Life.com. I'm so excited to be with you today and Hometalk sharing Easter egg crafts. So I want to get started with one that's really super fun. It's very near and dear to my heart. We are going to be dyeing Easter eggs. Now, when dyeing Easter eggs, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Sometimes you can use the pre-done packs. I want to do something a little different today. I love lace, and so I have a bunch of really neat pieces of lace. And you might be wondering, what does lace have to do with Easter eggs? But I think it's a really fun way to make a beautiful silhouette of on the egg. So I want to show you today how to do lace dyed Easter eggs. And we're going to do these with food coloring. There is a link to my Hometalk page that has a tutorial for you to look at and follow. But I'm going to show you how to make it right now. So grab your hard-boiled eggs and some lace and let's get started doing this. There's a couple different ways. The way that I like to do this is to take, again, this is a hard-boiled egg that I've already cooked, and I'm going to tie, this piece of lace is nice and wide, and so I'm going to tie this onto my egg. Now, you could use a rubber band to secure this. You could put it in a pantyhose, little stocking. That's become really popular online right now. This lace ribbon, see how it really gets snug around the egg there when you tie it in a knot? And for me, that's easy peasy, and I'm not going to worry about trying to add a rubber band or anything like that. But I do want to make sure it's nice and tight on there. So I'm doing a nice double knot like that. And I'm just going to trim off my extra because this is going to get dyed. So now that I've got that ready, I want to get my dye ready. Now, what I use for this, again, this is pantry ingredients that you probably already have on hand. You need hot water, you need some just clear vinegar, and then I like to use the neon colored food coloring because you want really bright, vivid colors. I've noticed with the silhouette, it's not going to last, it's not going to be quite as bright if it's not a really vibrant, bold color. So go bold on this one. So I did one earlier with purple, but I want to show you how easy it really is. So I've got warm water in this cup right here, and I'm going to add some drops, of blue, a really bright blue. Now, you can do any combination you want. You can make it as dark or bright as you like. You can mix together like blue and green to get a nice turquoise kind of color, which I think would be fun. So let's play with that for a minute here.
People love to use stencils for pretty designs too.
Oh, stencils would be beautiful. Please share this. We're going to be giving away a fun tote bag, a Hometalk tote bag in a little bit. So the way to enter is to share this, to like it. I love it when you send hearts. It makes us happy. What kind of things do you guys like to do with Easter eggs? And I'm going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. Vinegar is the activator. If you're going to use dye like this, food coloring, you've got to use vinegar or it's not going to work for you. So that's one tip. Grab the vinegar.
Alabama's on board.
Oh, hi Alabama. Thanks for tuning in. So we've got our egg tied with the lace. We've got our color mixed, and we are going to drop this right in there. I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. So we're going to go on to another project while this guy starts setting up.
People use glue, glitter sticks, markers.
Ooh, glue is going to be beautiful.
Glitter.
And again, I mean, look how pretty these silhouettes of lace are going to be. It's going to be really, really fun. One thing I do want to say before we get going too much further, I want to thank you guys. I know you guys love my aprons. Today I have another April Cornell apron. This is the Peony Watercolor apron in her designs. I love the spring colors. It's perfect for Easter eggs, right? So big shout out and thank you to April Cornell for that. All right, let's dive into the next egg project. Have you guys seen these at stores like Walmart and Target, Michael's, you know, the craft stores? These are little eggs that are,
Oregon.
One person described these as ping pong balls shaped as eggs. And you know, honestly, I think that's a really good description.
Canada.
Oh, hi Canada. Thanks for tuning in. These are so inexpensive, less than $2 for 12 of them, and yet you can dye them if you want to, but you know that that's not what I want to do. I want to paint them. So naturally, I headed to the craft aisle at the store, and I got some chalk paint.
Show the paint at the front.
Because I love chalk paint. Now this, any kind of chalk paint would work. This one you can get at Walmart. It's the Waverly chalk paint. Have you guys ever used this? Anybody out there? Hey, New Zealand. Thanks for tuning in. We're doing Easter egg decorations here on Home Talk today. Have you guys decorated with chalk paint, done any crafts with chalk paint before?
Spain.
So,
Japan.
we're going to take this egg and I'm going to just dip it. I'm just using the cap of the paint as the paint bucket for this. And I'm just going to lightly paint this on here. And at first it might not look like I've got a lot of paint on there, but it gets a little darker as it dries.
Scotland's on board.
Oh, Scotland! Hello, my friends. I would try a Scottish accent. My mom could do a good Scottish accent. But I'm just going to paint this on here. I won't bore you with my dreadful Scottish accent, but I want to go visit there.
Philippines.
Ooh, the Philippines. Beautiful country, too.
Illinois and Georgia.
Ooh, hi, Georgia. Hi, Illinois. All right, so we're getting this on. Don't worry that you're going to have a couple of spots that aren't painted because you can touch those up after you're all done. So you want to get a good coat on there and let that dry. Here's one that I painted earlier. You can see it's just got a couple of spots that I need to touch up because I did just what I did just now. I just let it sit there. And see, you're just going to brush that right on there.
Fusion paint is great also.
Ooh, fusion paint. Interesting. I've actually never used fusion paint. Is that like a...
Dublin, Ireland. Ireland is on board.
Ah, Ireland. Well, we're Irish, so we get very excited about having the Irish on board. Thank you for tuning in. And I'll stop that too because I'm probably butchering that accent. So, do you see how easy this is? One other reason that I love using chalk paint for projects like this is because it dries really fast. As long as you have a light hand, don't get too heavy-handed with this. So obviously you can make just a lovely collection
California
of just painted eggs. And that would be great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I really love the look of speckled eggs. Do you guys like the look of speckled eggs? Do you know what I mean by that? So what I'm going to do here, now funny story about this, I was in the store with my daughter and I thought I was grabbing brown chalk paint. And she was asking to look at this, that, or the other in the store. And I was like, honey, we're just grabbing this and we got to go. Just let mommy focus for a minute. And I grabbed antiquing wax. Have you guys ever done that? Have you gotten home and realized you did not grab what you thought you grabbed? So I looked at it and I wondered, all right, what am I going to do? But I decided to just go with it and see if it worked. And thankfully, it did work. So what I've done is I've got a bunch of the antique wax on my brush. I'm putting it in a little glass container because I want to thin it a little bit because I want to get a speckled look. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in to there and just mix it up.
Right, London's on board also. Hello, London.
Hello, London. I love London. I'm a country girl, but of any city in the world I could live in, it's London. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm just going to keep getting this to the consistency that I want. And basically, I want it to be nice and liquidy because I'm going to be flicking it onto my painted eggs.
Friends from Italy.
Ooh, ciao bella. Italy, I love it. So when you're trying to get your flicking rhythm sorted out, or your speckling, or whatever it is that you want to call it, I suggest getting a paper towel out and then just take the brush and kind of tap with your finger. And that's going to let you kind of get used to the pattern of it. You could also, some people, will try and flick the bristles like that. For me, that creates too much overspray. But this also lets you see if the tone is right. And for me, that's a little too watery. So I'm going to add a little more of my antiquing wax. And again, if the consistency of your paint or whatever you're using for that is the right consistency, straight out of the bottle, hi Canada,
China,
then go ahead and use that. But mine was a little too thick because it is a wax, so I had to thin it a little bit with water. And I clearly put a little too much water in there, so I'm having to add more. But that's the fun of crafting. It's kind of exploring and seeing what's working. Ah, now we're starting to get a darker color. Do you see that darker color there? I like that. So let's grab our egg. Are we ready for this? And we're just going to tap, 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 tap. Come on, guys. Sprinkles. There we go. We're getting some good sprinkles now. And then just turn it, let it dry.
Mexico.
Keep going. And just let it keep going like that. And then, let me show you what you end up with. Look. You can create a beautiful nest of speckled eggs. So send hearts if you're liking it. Please share this with your friends.
Puerto Rico.
Tell us in a comment what's your favorite way to decorate Easter eggs, because we would love for you to have a chance to win a Hometalk tote bag. So here again, easy peasy DIY speckled eggs. They're budget friendly. They really only take minutes to make.
Brazil.
Woo, Brazil. I love all these folks from all around the world. It's so fun. All right. And as you're doing that, just keep rotating the egg. And, you know, it's so easy and fun. Okay. Now, remember to share this. Tell your friends what we're doing here. We're making easy Easter eggs. All right. The next easy Easter egg project that we're going to do, I'm going to use these plastic ping pong style Easter eggs again.
Morocco.
And we're going to make chalkboard eggs. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's take a peek at our lace Easter egg. You guys remember we started this at the beginning of the show. We dropped it in. Again, this is just warm water, vinegar, and natural food coloring. I mean, I probably wouldn't call it natural food coloring, but it's just food coloring from your pantry. Now, before you do anything with this guy, you want to dry him off a little bit, okay? Because if you just unwrap him straight from the dye with it all wet, when you're unwrapping him, it could show off. You could get dye on it, smear on there. And then look. Now, let me show you.
Ooh, pretty.
The light color, it's a little, you see this, but it's a little lighter. But look at the purple that I did earlier.
Ooh, yeah.
Wow. Do you guys see that beautiful pattern? So imagine all the things you can do with this. Again, any lace pattern you have, some piece of antique lace from your grandma, from your mom, or just something
people use
pretty.
Wooden eggs.
Oh, wooden eggs would be great with this. Now, I do recommend if you're going to use a technique like this for your actual Easter table, do it a couple days in advance and then store your eggs in the refrigerator, because these are real eggs that I used here. So, but isn't it so sweet and fun?
George shared your video with 15 people.
Oh, thank you, George. God bless you. Thank you. All right. So that was our lace dyed eggs. So easy. Okay, so let's talk about chalkboard eggs. I love chalkboard. It's such a popular style right now, and it's for a good reason, because there's so much that we can do with it. Do you guys like to do chalkboard crafts at your house? Are there favorite chalkboard crafts you like to do?
Some people use rubber bands for the kids to make designs.
Oh, rubber bands. That sounds like fun. All right, so I'm going to take my brush again. I'm going to get the paint out of it. And then actually I'm going to grab this brush right here. And this is just, again, a chalkboard paint that I picked up at Walmart. You can, any kind of chalkboard paint that you like will work. I'm going to use my top again. The key to doing these on these little eggs, in my opinion, is to use a light touch. You don't want to do really thick coats and layers. You just want to take your time. Honestly, I can get it covered in one time, but if you go too heavy, it's going to take a long time to dry.
Thank you, El Majid Aboud. Thank you.
So remember to tell us in the comments what's your favorite way to decorate Easter eggs, because your answer will enter you for a chance to win a Hometalk tote bag.
Yes.
And I think we'll be announcing the winner before this is all over. So stay tuned. Please.
No matter where you live.
No matter where you live. This is open to everyone everywhere, because I know we do have a lot of fun international viewers, and we love you guys tuning in.
Vonda said she has the chalkboard eggs. Her children had them last year, grandchildren, and they drew and put them around the house in nests.
Oh my gosh, see, I love that story. And the great thing is too, when you use a product like this that's not a non-perishable egg, you can keep it for years and years. It's not something that's going to go bad. Like the lace eggs, you know, they have a short shelf life. But the DIY speckled eggs that we just made, or these eggs, are going to last.
Using birthday candles for wax on an egg is also nice.
That sounds very interesting. So again, we're gonna have to touch up the top and the bottom, but I'm just gonna set this down to dry. And that's again a nice thing about using the light layers, is it's not getting too messy. So here's one that I had already painted before we got started. I can see there's just a couple little spots that I want to touch up. So I'm just gonna take the brush and just lightly.
They want us to show the eggs again. I'm going to show them.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Here are those eggs.
So I get these. They're in the craft section. Excuse me. No, they're in the Easter section at Walmart. You can see they're $1.98. Such a good deal. Somebody described them as ping pong balls shaped like eggs, and I think that's a perfect description of them because they really are just light and easy to work with. So we will take that, you just touch up where you had painted, and look, you have this perfect little canvas that's ready to do whatever you want to do with them. I love that one suggestion of letting the grandchildren write things on them and hide them around the house. One thing I just did on the blog was I created a little table setting with them and just took the egg and tucked it into a little cup, put a little bit of moss in there, a little flower, and wrote a message on there. I put hope on there. You could put someone's name as place cards. I tucked in just a little bit of ribbon. And it's just such a sweet way to dress up your Easter table. It's really budget friendly. Again, I mean, those eggs and the chalk paint, you're talking about decor for pennies here.
Susan, thank you for taking them to the Alzheimer's Center, and I'm so glad they had a great time decorating them and enjoying them.
Oh, what a wonderful thing. Yes, these go everywhere. You can do so much with them. You can get a batch together, take them to a place like that, take them to a school, let the kids go crazy with them. You can doodle on it, put names, so many options. And it's really, really easy.
I have a question. What if you put an overdyed egg and use something to scratch the paint off? Could you get a design then?
If you did a dyed egg, I'm not sure with the dye if you could scratch something but I think you could. What I would do if I were trying to do something like that is I would probably first, because I'm not sure about the scratching part, but if I were trying to do a craft like that, I might first put a pattern on the egg using Vaseline or something like that for my pattern, then paint over it, and then scratch to remove. That might work because you'd have it under there. But I don't know, a fun craft to try. Give it a go.
Is there another color of chalk paint rather than black?
Yes, there are. In the crafts section at stores now. Now, don't confuse it with chalk paint like this. If it says chalk paint on the label, that is just chalk paint. That's a type of paint that is great because it doesn't need primer to work with. But chalkboard paint is a type of paint that you use that you can then write on. So there is a distinction there, and you want to be looking for that when you're getting your paints.
Julie also uses spring material and decoupages it onto the eggs.
Ooh, now that's beautiful. We used some Mod Podge decoupage when we were doing our last tutorials with moss. All right, guys, did you see our headline today? Grab your grandma's doily and let's get crafting. Well, I'm going to show you a really fun and easy craft with doilies.
Did you know that they make a paint you can use to scratch off? It's like what they use for scratch cards.
Oh, perfect. There you go. I didn't know that. See, I love having a community like this because we get to learn from each other. It's so wonderful. All right, sorry for trying to clean a little bit of the paint off my hands. I'm sorry you guys are seeing painted hands right now. And don't forget to tell us what's your favorite way to decorate with Easter eggs. Share and like this post, send hearts, and you will be entered for a chance to win a Hometalk tote bag. So, have we all come across doilies like this that have stains, rips, tears, or other things like this one? I've tried everything, cannot get this stain out. I hate to just throw these kinds of things away because I love them. I love the patterns and I still want to use them. And right now I'm going to show you a fun and so easy idea that I came up with to make crochet covered Easter eggs. Now for this, I like to use something like this wooden egg because you're going to see a little bit of it, and I like the natural color that this is going to have showing underneath. So first what you do is, you can see I've already cut one section out here. I really like this round medallion here, and I want that to be the center point of my egg. So I'm going to set my egg on there. I'm going to wrap this around, and see how you can see already that's going to be really pretty on there. And I'm going to look on here and I'm going to see kind of where my lines are that I'm going to need to trim. So I kind of have an eyeball
Thanks for
there.
the OxyClean heads up. We'll try that.
Yeah, sometimes OxyClean and things like that will work. Sometimes, you know, you just find these guys that they're beyond repair, and it's sad, but...
Brown eggs are beautiful, color beautifully too.
Oh, yes, brown eggs with some of those vivid colors would be really nice as well. That's right, I like that idea.
Is your apron a handmade painting?
No, it's not. Thank you for asking about my apron. This is from my sweet friends, April Cornell. I love her designs. They really, really resonate with me. And she very kindly sent me this to wear just for you guys today. So thank you for asking. It is an April Cornell design. You can totally check it out. I think they dropped a link for you to her website.
Mary, we would never cut our own grandmother's handmade doilies either. Actually, these are from Goodwill.
Yep.
For 50 cents.
Exactly.
But you're right. Oh, no, that would never do. Never.
No. But when you find those that are already torn, they don't have sentimental value for you, then you can let the good times roll and have some fun. But yeah, no, otherwise, avert your eyes if you're sensitive to seeing old doilies being cut up. But I love this idea. It gives them a new lease on life, and I think that's a big part of what spring is all about. So now for this, you're gonna, in addition to some kind of doily and the egg, you're also gonna need your glue gun because it's gonna be really handy for you here. And all you wanna do is, you've got your square cut out now. We're gonna take a line and just start, see, we're getting a line of glue on there, and we're going to bring this up. Now with this kind of project, you're going to have a back side and a front side, and that's okay. Now I recommend using a cold temperature, a low temperature glue gun for this project, because whenever you're working with fabric and glue, you want to use a low temperature kind of gun. So now, See how this is starting to come together on the front? So now I'm going to wrap this other side around. I don't care about it wrapping all the way to the opposite edge because, like I said, it's a back and a front.
To everyone out there, please remember, we would never cut up our doilies of grandmothers or mothers. I'm a mother myself. I won't have it.
We shouldn't have titled this that. But it got everybody talking. So in that regard, it was fun.
We buy them at the Goodwill.
Yeah, this is an old, not sentimental. This is a doily that needed a new lease on life, and we are helping it find one. So we are just tucking, again, adding glue, tucking the crochet around, just like that. And add more glue as you need to. Now be careful because even though this is a low temperature glue,
it can burn.
It is still a little bit hot. So you want to just set that aside, let it dry, and then here's an example of one that I made, and look how sweet when nested with other wooden eggs. And I like it on its own like that because it really stands out as a beautiful piece. But I'm sorry if I've upset anybody for thinking I've cut up a grandmother's doily.
And Kelly, you're a rebel. You are a rebel girl.
I love doing really interesting crafts with doilies. I've seen some beautiful draperies made with doilies. I like making pillow covers with them because, again, I'm not going to use it necessarily in the traditional way that they used to get used, but I like finding new fun ways. So I hope that you like this little guy.
To each
really
his own,
sweet.
I like to say.
Yes, something for everyone. All right. Well, we are blazing through. And I've got one last creation I want to share with you guys. I got to make some room here on my table. Again, don't forget to share with us what your favorite Easter egg craft is. Tell us in a comment for a chance for you to win a Hometalk tote bag, and share it with your friends too.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you.
And again, I'm Jennifer Carroll. All right, so this is a recycled Easter egg centerpiece. So in the morning, you're cracking your eggs for breakfast, and before you just toss that egg in that eggshell in the trash can, I want to say, wait a minute. So what I do is I try and take the egg and I crack the end of it so that I still have most of the body of the egg. And recently on my blog, I did a make something from nothing challenge, and I wanted to use I wanted to use eggshells. And so I put my thinking cap on and tried to figure out what could I do.
Where do you get your greenery and flowers?
The grocery store. I get my, I hit up the floral section of my local grocery store. And then some of these, like these little guys here, are just little random flowers from my yard. And so I get inspiration everywhere. And all you do, you can take and you can fill a little bit of water in your eggshell, because your flowers are going to want to have a little drink. And then just tuck these little flowers into the eggshell, and you suddenly have this really sweet little still life that you can tuck in to a centerpiece. And what I've done here, look, we'll do one more. We're going to put a little bit of water into a broken eggshell. And I like that we're seeing a little bit of the raw edge here because it's real. It really is this sweet cracked little egg.
Listen to this. Instead of the flower, you could make that doily into a flower and put it in the teapot.
Oh, what a beautiful creative idea. I love that. See, together we come up with all kinds of fun ideas. These remind me of just tiny little still life paintings. And to do this, all I've done is I've taken a silver antique tray. I have put moss in the tray. Then I've put a favorite teapot into here. I have filled it with a mix of fern leaves, hydrangea, some other flowers. Now, big secret tip here, these are fake fern leaves. Don't be afraid to mix good quality faux plants with real plants. I do it all the time. It's so handy, and I know so often people think don't do things like that, but I like to do that, and I think it looks great. And so then I've just tucked in a few of these, and you have a simple, again, not very expensive Easter centerpiece for your table that we've made with Easter egg crafts.
Another idea is to stiffen the doily with starch.
Oh, yes.
And then you can use it as a basket.
Yes, there's so many fun things that we could do a whole Facebook Live on things to do with doilies. So there we go. So let's review real quick. We made beautiful lace dyed Easter eggs with food coloring, and we also made some sweet speckled eggs. And where else? We've got these chalkboard eggs that we love how they turned out, that are fun for a place setting. And of course we have the infamous crocheted Easter egg. So I hope you guys...
Ladies, thank you and gentlemen, thank you for your kind responses.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. And again, I'm Jennifer Carroll with CelebratingEverydayLife.com. Thank you so much, Hometalk, for having me. I'm so grateful for being here. Don't forget to comment. Oh, do we know who our winner is? Jordan, do we have a post from our Hometalk folks to know who our winner is?
It's Marion Bales for the glitter idea.
Oh, Marion, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Your glitter idea won you a Hometalk tote bag. We'll be sure to send that to you soon. In the meantime, we're going to be live again tomorrow at 1 o'clock with more DIY tutorials. It won't be me, but it'll be another wonderful Hometalk blogger. And what else? I think we've told you about everything. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Hometalk Live.